everybody, BeyondDrewTV here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of Thorton Hills Zoo in Planet Zoo here. So it's been some time away from the zoo there, not purposely, just kind of life's been a little bit hectic, a little bit crazy there. If you watch the cheetah habitat build videos there, if you haven't, you definitely should. I really liked how that turned out there. But yeah, in that one I kind of mentioned how life has just been a little bit nutso, a little bit crazy these past probably two weeks there, give or take, ever since the Thanksgiving holiday here in the States. My life has decided to flip the switch of just being busy randomly kind of thing. You ever have moments like that where just things are kind of just swimming and it's like, yeah, no, every day's a good routine, going to work, here's the weekend, whatever, you know, you name it kind of thing. And then all of a sudden life's like, yeah, you know that routine, we're just going to blow it up. Here's some problems. So that's kind of like what happened in the past like a week or so there. So kind of just had to take a step back and wasn't able to be as consistent with uploading videos or doing content or anything like that. But we finally kind of wrangled in life, I guess you'd say, kind of wrangled in all the little things that kind of popped up here and there. And yeah, we're a little bit, I'm a little bit more focused now. I can kind of record and do all this kind of fun stuff there. So, but let's talk about what's going on screen there, because I'm sure you all are a little bit confused. So this kind of harps back to being busy. I wasn't able to record up until this point. I would a little bit here and there, but it was really inconsistent, and it would have been difficult to piece anything together, sort of thing. So I kind of just was able to finally get some time the other night to sit down and actually record for a few hours there to get a good bit of time lapse here. But again, I know that we're kind of jumping into the middle of it. So, but what we're building here is the grizzly bear habitat. I mentioned this a little bit in the last episode with our timber wolves that we're going to be expanding this area here. So yeah, this is just that same area we were talking about, just up from the path of the timber wolves and everything. But yeah, this is our more kind of natural, modern kind of grizzly bear habitat. And yeah, the kind of idea for this one is to really give the bear a big naturalistic looking area that you know, really resembles its again, its natural area. You know, the backwoods, the kind of mountains. We wanted to get a stream in here, because grizzly bears are kind of known for, you know, eating like salmon and stuff out of a stream, so I wanted to get that in there, going with some rapids and stuff. So yeah, just the kind of overall feel and theme for this whole area here is just really naturalistic, really using a lot of you know, rock work. Rock work is a huge thing for this whole thing, and kind of making that look right, and using a lot of the tips and tricks learned from Mr. Mike Sheets there, from when he was on, I think it was Daylady and John T's Geekism's channel there, talking about how he does rock work. And I think everyone in the Planet Zoo community now is kind of doing that style of rock work there, which is awesome because it turns out really well. So, but yeah, then real quick right here, this is an idea from a live stream I did a few weeks ago, I believe from Pippi. They gave this really great idea of putting gum on top of the rock. So we used art shapes there and kind of gummed up the rocks there, as if, you know, people are putting their gum up there because that's what they do, because people are jerks. Quit being jerks. So we have the for this whole thing here, we're gonna go ahead and do a live portion of it, because like I said, we only did kind of part of the time lapse here. So we're gonna finish out the time lapse here, and then we're gonna kind of talk more about the build there, a little bit more in depth, because like I said, we're kind of skirting around a lot of it, and I didn't get to show off in the time lapse a whole lot of it. So yeah, we're gonna do a time lapse here in just a few minutes, kind of going in detail, showing you everything there. But for our grizzly bear, we only have one grizzly bear. I may have mentioned this a while ago, because I adopted the one grizzly bear a while ago, but it's Abigail. Abigail, our one female grizzly bear. And yeah, as of right now, we're just going to do the one bear, but I do have an idea, and you might see it at the end of the time lapse here, to maybe make like a breeding program kind of, I guess you call it, facility or something. So we might want to build another habitat that's similar in, I guess, theme, level of theme and size and everything for a male, and then maybe build a kind of off-path, off-guest view breeding pen, basically. So I've noticed this in some zoo videos or zoo shows, specifically the zoo, Bronx, I think they're at right now, the Bronx Zoo. They have different pens like that, where if it's an animal like a grizzly bear that's mostly solitary except for mating, they'll kind of, you know, have two different pens, or they won't even have a male in the zoo or a female in the zoo until they need them to kind of mate, and then they'll bring in like a male, you know, grizzly, or name the animal here from, like, you know, another zoo, like the St. Louis Zoo. They'll import it in to the Bronx Zoo and have those two mate, and then send the male back to the St. Louis Zoo or wherever, you know. So that's kind of the idea. I think that would be cool here. is to have another pen where we could have our male grizzly bear, and then a separate pen that's going to be off the path where guests won't even be able to see or anything. It'll just be strictly for research and mating and stuff like that. And then have that where they would get together every so often and do the mating thing and try and help the numbers in the wild and stuff. And we're going to do that some more with the zoo as we kind of continue on there, because I want conservation and rehabilitation and just all that fun stuff to be part of the zoo here as we are going forward. So it's something that keep in mind as we are expanding the North American section out in the future there. And speaking of expanding the North American section, which is obviously where we're at in the zoo right now, there's going to be another episode on the bison area coming up, on the kind of prairie / plains kind of area, and then that will probably wrap it up for the North American section for now. Now I have left open probably about 2, 3, maybe even 4 expansion plots for DLCs, the hoping of DLCs coming out in the future. Excuse me. For DLCs coming out in the future for some more North American animals, polar bears, some more like deer. I'm even hoping that we get some like raccoons and just little thing. Just we need a lot more animals, obviously, right? So, and that's gonna be a theme throughout the rest of the zoo as well as we're building. There's probably going to be some big open areas, and that's mainly in my mind to be like future expansion plots. So if we do get, said, X animal, I'll be able to plug it in to that area. You'll kind of notice that throughout the North American section that it might look like there's sections like, oh yeah, hey, there's a big open grass part right there. You could definitely add a new animal. Totally. I'm with you, but I'm holding out, right? I'm playing the waiting game just because, again, I've played Planet Coaster from the time of Alpha all the way until, a few weeks ago when Planet Zoo came out, and just knowing Frontier, if they're going to do like they did with Planet Coaster, we're going to get a heck load of more content here. So yeah, those of you that are new to the Planet series and you're not sure how the updates or DLCs or anything go with the Planet series through Frontier, don't fret, don't fear. We're going to get so much content that you won't know what to do with yourself. So, and it's good because it's not like certain other games where you might control a simulation and people. The expansion or the DLCs for Frontiers games are typically not $40 or $30 or even $20. They're usually like 10. So yeah, that's kind of nice too. So you Sims players coming over, oops, I say it. Oh well. Sue me, Sims. You Sims players coming over, don't worry, you're not going to be spending your entire checks on DLCs for this game, unlike a certain other game you might play. So, but anyways, shade aside, we're just kind of filling in the foliage here a little bit more, and that's kind of the big wrap up for it, I guess you'd say, is just adding in the foliage. And it's kind of funny with these kind of habitats, I guess you'd say, that are really focused on foliage, is that they don't ever come together really until you put in that last little bit. Up until here, I was getting ready to restart this habitat for like the 6th time. Yeah, this is like the 6th or 5th iteration of this. I went through way too many different iterations of this habitat. It was almost frustrating. I kept second guessing myself. But anyways, I almost redid this whole one as well, up until I started putting in just the plants and foliage and stuff. And then all of a sudden I was just looking, I was like, yeah, this is starting to turn out all right. I could see myself visiting this kind of thing. So, I love doing this kind of foliage work and I guess planting and stuff like that, just because it feels so at home to me. I think I mentioned it before, where my family used to own a cabin up in Minocqua, Wisconsin. And it's way up north there, just south of Canada, basically. It's almost in Canada there. So this kind of foliage, doing this kind of backwoods kind of feel, that's right at home with me, and I love doing it. It just kind of comes natural there to me, I guess you could say. So, for the most part, that's gonna wrap up the time lapse. Like I said, don't go far though. We're gonna go ahead and we're not gonna do a full zoo tour. We're gonna do one of those kind of soon, probably after the North American area is kind of wrapped up for all the new folks that we have coming here, all the new subscribers and stuff. So if you're not caught up yet and you don't want to go back through all the time lapses, we'll have an episode in the next 1 or 2 episodes where we'll do a full zoo tour, but we'll do a full we'll take a look at this grizzly bear habitat in real time, and I'll kind of go through talking about my thought processes a little bit and showing off some stuff that wasn't in the time lapse there. So yeah, I'll be back in just a minute or two when the time lapse is finished. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and check out some stuff that was not included in the time lapse there. So the first few things are actually at the front of the North American section here. This is our boat dock and kind of viewing area. So both of these were built, for the most part, in our live stream on Saturdays there. Saturdays at 1 p.m. CST, Central Standard Time, I do a live stream for about 2, 3, 4 hours, give or take, where we just kind of hang out with the community and build, kind of. I don't build too much on the live streams, but yeah, if you want to hang out for those, again, every Saturday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, you can find me streaming Planet Zoo there. But yeah, so again, we have our boat dock and viewing area, and just to give you perspective of where we're at, we're in our little North American, I guess you say, main plaza area just outside the Timberwolf and small animals and stuff like that. So yeah, you get this really nice viewing area, especially as you can see here at sunset. Like, holy cow, you get some at the certain times of the day, you get the nice J.J. Abrams solar flare effect there and stuff like that. I shared a picture on Reddit of that, but yeah, just I really like this whole area here. And then I get a little closer look at the boat dock there. So pretty simple in design, but I don't know, still turns out pretty nice. It doesn't always have to be some huge crazy thing to look great, right? So, and then we have a little Q building here as well, and again, very simple kind of log structure there, and complemented well by Mr. Domez's FizzWiz vending machine there. So yeah, there's the few things that we added in during the live stream there. So that area is pretty well wrapped up right there, so it's looking really good. I like that a lot. So let's go ahead and head over to the newer area, which is going to be our Grizzly Bear habitat there. Take a look at our wolves as we're passing by. Do you see any? Oh, I see some. Let's change the time as we're going over there too. Put it back to the visible time, not just the pretty time. There we go. Pass by the wolf's den, go by our prairie area. Do you see any other wolves out there? See them real quick? I see a few in the pond. Yep, little puppies. But yeah, and here we are. Here's some new stuff there. So yeah, this whole area is pretty well complete. There's just a little bit more details, and we'll add those in as we are... Oh, y'all stuck? Doing the moonwalk here? All right, I'll let y'all do the moonwalk together. We'll add in more details as we expand out this area a little bit more. Like I was talking about before, we're going to be doing probably a male grizzly bear area, maybe a breeding pen as well. We'll see about all that. But as we come up here, you get these really cool, kind of almost perspective, forced perspective shots of the den there. So you can kind of see that this is an opening right there to the bear den. And yeah, you get these really cool the trees in the background. I'll show you where they actually are, but it makes it look like, you know, this whole thing is just really, really huge this far away with the tall trees behind. And again, I'll show you how we kind of pull that off there. Over here we have a information kiosk and a toilet. This building very much so is kind of a work in progress. I want to add some more little detail works to it. I think I'm going to kind of hold off until we kind of expand out the rest of the habitats there with the grizzly bears. So, but I like the base for it here. It's got that nice log cabin kind of feel to it. And the main kind of thing that I like about this is the little birch tree half circle viewing area right here, because you get some really, really cool views, I think, of the den and all that fun stuff. So there is that. So let's kind of back out this way, and we'll head on down the road a little bit more. So yeah, as we come up this way, yeah, this is the entrance to our den, and yeah, really love the tips and tricks that Mr. Mike Sheets has provided with the rock work there, because yeah, I think this turned out really well. And again, I used a lot of his tips and tricks for natural rock work there, so love how that turned out. Real quick though, we're gonna take a left. You can kind of see some doors right there. This is a place that guests can go into. This is just a kind of a backstage building, I guess you'd say, basically. So this is a area where the grizzly bear can come in and hang out, and if it wants to. There used to be bedding and more stuff in here, but I found it like hung out in here all the time instead of going out into the huge area that I built it. So I was like, you know what, no. So I took away some of its enrichment and bedding, so it doesn't come back in here at all anymore, but that's fine. I'd rather it didn't. But yeah, the interior isn't done up too much. I've explained interiors before. We're not going to do too many interiors, and the ones that we do we'll do them really well, but yeah, we're not going to go crazy with the interiors. But yeah, this is just a simple little holding building, I guess you'd say, with the backstage buildings and stuff. But so guests can go in there if they want to, and they used to go in there when the bear went in there, but obviously he does not anymore. But let's head into our den here. This is where the real meat and potatoes are. So here's our gum. Oh, it's a little bit of a low clearance. I think it's okay. But yeah, people are sticking their gum up on top of our rock ceiling already. Jerks. What the heck? But here's a one-way glass look into the bear den there. So there is that. I can show you there. One-way glass. So there's the bear den. Sleeps in there all the time. Get some fantastic views there. And then yeah, as you come up this way, you get your main viewing area. So yeah, you get this really good big reveal of the waterfall there. Love how that turned out. I kept going back and forth between making this glass opening kind of like just open like this, but I like the way the glass looks there. So this is your little simple viewing area there. Might add in some more education stuff, but yeah, that's just it for right now. Here's what it looks like on the outside. And there's the entire habitat for the most part. So there you go. That is what we came up with. So had to have a waterfall, had to have that stream with the rapids going down, like I talked about before. So yeah, really like how this all came up. There he is. There's Abigail. Hey, there she is. There's Abigail. I'm gonna go and smell some stuff. But so yeah, no. Then for the Abigail there, all the stats are all, you know, her welfare is perfect. Foliage and all that fun stuff is all perfect and stuff. So she is loving life like crazy. So there is a big overview of the entire grizzly bear habitat, and you kind of see here where we've started to kind of map out where the next habitat would go and maybe where the breeding pen would go and stuff like that. So I'd like to know what your thoughts on that would be, if you think that's a good idea, if we should go in a different direction. But yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking, is we put the male grizzly bear here with a little buffer zone in between, and then the breeding habitat here, and we can kind of have this main building be the central hub of the grizzly bear area. So but no, overall that is pretty well what we have accomplished here in those few weeks there. So yeah, the next episode definitely won't be taking that long. Like I said, we're going to be jumping over to, let me show you real quick, just jumping over to our bison, or our prairie, I guess you could say. All the bison and everything are here. They're all feeling good, looking good. The pronghorn are here, same thing, all doing good. They just need their area kind of done up there. But here is a whole look at the North American section now. It is pretty big. It's almost like its own zoo there. So hot dang. But yeah, so the grizzly bear habitat's wrapped up. We'll move on to the bison prairie next, and yeah, that's gonna go ahead and do it. Let's go take a look at the grizzly bears as we wrap up here. But where's she? Where is she? We gotta see her. That's how you know it's a good habitat, when it's hard to find her. It's so wooded that it can get, there she is, she's just sleeping. It can be difficult to find her there. So, but yeah, no, let's go ahead and wrap up there. So hey, if this is just your first time hanging out, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Stay up to date with all the things Thorton Hills Zoo, or the one-off habitat builds, or we're going to be starting some a new series with my wife soon, where her and I build a zoo together. So a lot of fun stuff coming up there. But yeah, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and until the next episode there of Thornton Hills Zoo with Miss Abigail here, have a good one. Thanks.